just borrow one time possibly?
No, all they run is PETA gauges.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
I
And-
already checked into that.
Okay, no, I figured you
Yeah.
had, that's why I was asking.
Yeah,
Okay, Mike, so what was, you looked up the prices of flow meters, right?
yeah,
And when was that?
that was years ago.
How many years ago?
Oh, 3-4 years ago when we first got.
So we're
started.
looking at probably a 30% hike in prices by now.
I'm gonna guess it's probably around $3,000, $4,000 for the meter. For the flow
And
meter.
that's not including shipping and all that.
I don't really know. I can get you a price on it. I can get.
Would you?
Please.
Would you do that for
Yeah.
us, so we can, we'd kind of like to get on top of this, because it is a concern, not only for a lot of elderly people in town, but there are certain neighborhoods that, you know, if you have to run a hose 300 feet just to put a fire out at the end of the block, that's not good either, so. We'd kind of like to get as much information as we can so we can look at that.
That's why I just bought a new structure truck.
So we have two.
No, you don't have to hand it.
So, but anyway, if you would, we'd appreciate that.
I'll get you a price on it.
Okay, thank
We
you.
just checked online, it was about $2,000.
Good.
Every possible feature you could imagine,
Okay,
so
all right.
somewhere in that
We'll
neighborhood.
look at that and talk about it and get something going. Elton?
I think that we ought to follow up on what this guy's saying. He was talking about the possible freeze-up problems. Okay, if you get a freeze-up problem in the wintertime, then that means it's a chance that thing might be incapacitated for the rest of the winter. Or, and if he's already running hoses and fire trucks to get any water, that means it could be a real problem. So what I'm saying is, maybe somehow people could shuffle some money from the water department or whatever, and get those two buggers replaced, or more, before freeze-up time.
Well, we have to find out which hydrants need to be replaced at this
Well,
point.
Mike knows, I think.
Just
We
those
have to
two, the
test
only
it.
two that don't work,
On Lover's
They
Lane. and
work.
on-
Right in front
But
of
they don't
Dennis
drain.
Techcroft's.
Lover's Lane and Carbon.
Lover's Lane and Carbon.
Okay,
Yeah, let me just clarify and confirm what Mike said. We've got 2 fire hydrants that do operate if there was a fire, but as Michael is explaining, they don't drain.
you
So
have
that
to
after
manually
they are
drain them.
used, you basically, and Mike knows this too,
Yeah.
you just stick a pump in there and pump out the hydrant so
Yeah.
it's dry,
Yeah.
okay?
Which
So
we
to
do.
answer, to concern the gentleman's question, we've got fire hydrants that work, and we have one that we need to pump out, because in the line break that we recently had, we had to use that fire hydrant for proper flushing purposes, that I worked with the plumber and showed them how to properly flush the line out, and slowly. And I noticed that when I was closing the fire hydrant, the one that Mike said, it didn't drain
it didn't
properly.
bring back. Okay.
Right, and so the fire hydrants do work, but if they are used and not pumped out before it freezes, then they will break,
Then
and
they'll
you are
crack,
right
yeah,
then,
so
then they
we'll have a
would not
cracked
work,
box then,
yes.
Well,
right?
what if it's 30
Okay.
below and they don't have time to pump it out?
No,
You leave it open.
Is that a problem?
You leave it open.
Just leave it open.
just leave it open, if
So
you had to,
So it
but,
runs.
yes,
Until you get the pump in.
But if we use it, we did it already, we had the chicken coop fire on Lover's Lane last winter. We used the fire hydrant. As soon as we got everything all put away and back up here, we ran back down and we pumped it out. So
Okay.
it's not a big issue, I mean, you can pump it out, the question is the deal is you have to remember to pump it out.
right,
You guys in the city running around, if you've opened up them hydrants, they don't drain.
Right.
And all it is a fire hydrant when it's just got a shoe that sits on the bottom.
Mhm.
When you open it up, it pushes the shoe down and allows the water to overflow and goes up. When you close that shoe up, when it comes up in there, there's a weep hole in the main barrel. There's a weep hole in the bottom, and the weep hole just weeps out. And it weeps out. Over years, they get corroded.
Yeah,
Because our water's so
especially with our
wonderful.
water, yeah.
Yeah, it corrodes up pretty quickly, so it corrodes on there very well. But those are the only 2 fire hydrants, and I've tested all the fire hydrants in town. Those are the only 2 that do not drain.
Okay, so.
They all work, but they do
Well,
not
that
drain.
answers some questions in the last 3 meetings that we've had here, wondering whether or not,
I tried to
there's
get to
an
the last-
assumption that 2 or 3 of these hydrants work and the rest
Yeah.
don't.
Shirley
Which
asked
was
me to
told
come to
us
your last budget
by-
meeting, and unfortunately, I ended up working late, so I
Yeah.
wasn't able to make the
Well, that
budget
makes me
meeting.
feel a lot better.
Yeah, at least that's why
We
I
got some
needed to
bad
have you come, so we
information.
can get some information and know where we're going with it, what we can look at.
So,
we just need to get on top of some of this stuff that's been neglected for so many years that, you know, it's just, it's like a volcano, you know, it just bubbles from the bottom, pretty soon it goes like this, and there's nothing you can do about it, so. We'd like to kind of look at that and start figuring out ways to get those things taken care of.
You have to get with Great West on the 10 hydrants.
Okay, I'll get a hold of them and
They
find
never
out.
We are
tell
gonna
me.
we're gonna make steps
So,
to replace those two that are bad.
Mhm.
We have the funds.
Just so you know, neither one of those two have a gate valve on them either, so.
Well, we might
No,
have to
we'll
look at
do what we
costs
gotta
for
do.
that.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the last estimated cost, you're looking at about $4,000 a hydrant
Yeah,
setup.
Is that,
Hydrant,
and
gate
that's just for the
valve,
hydrant and not?
hydrant, gate valve, and
But
all
they've
that's
already
about
got
$4
Okay,
grand.
okay.
yeah.
Cause your
We've got-
hydrants.
We've got one.
Your
Yeah.
hydrant, well, unless there's been a big crisis, the last time I bought hydrants, the hydrants were just under $3,000, just for the hydrant alone.
Really.
Okay,
And then your gate valves, they were $400 or $500 for the gate valve. But by the
That's
time we figured with all the digging and the time and everything like that, it was estimated $3,500 to $4,000 per hydrant.
Was high on our priority list to get those things taken
So-
care of.
yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mike. That
Yep.
was some information that we needed to have. Thank you very much for coming.
Mhm.
Great West Engineering has a draw request for number 18. We did approve this at the last meeting. Unfortunately, it didn't get sent.
No.
The revenue request did not get
Because
sent.
Brenda.
Yeah, and
That's
so,
That's
she
why.
resubmitted it and, we just need to approve the resubmission and get that faxed over to her tomorrow so we can do a revenue voucher, so we can get that direct deposit and pay them.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve, draw 18 for Great West Engineering, and I will go ahead and let you know what that money is for. It is for $16,977.95, rural development grant, and, that is what we're requesting from rural development so that we can pay them for the project, file over there at the lagoons.
Is that the final?
No, it is not. We will get probably one more, or possibly
Draw
two
request.
more requests, yeah. Because they've only done a partial substantial, they haven't done the substantial completion yet for the whole thing. Because we still have to get some more training, for, Jeremy and, on that lagoon system.
We had a motion, a second, we got put to
Yeah,
vote.
we gotta get
Yeah,
it on paper.
okay, well, I'm sorry. We have a motion to approve the draw 18 and a second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All against? Motion is passed. Okay, let's go on to dates for our planning workshop. I know the council requested to have some planning workshops to discuss
We
the
have,
projects.
the school has a training session on the 10th at 7:30. That they would like us all to come to.
Right, I think I wrote that down.
Okay.
At 7:30, Bill?
7:30,
And that's at the,
that's at the library.
at the library, isn't it, right? I think I wrote that down in my book, which is in
Just so we don't
And,
plan a
and what is,
planning section.
and what is on the agenda? Bill?
It is just, as far as I understand, how to conduct a meeting.
Oh, they're having a parliamentary procedure type thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Their lawyer will
We had asked,
explain it all.
some of the debate club or something to come and do that for us one time, and then we didn't get it done. Okay, so, you guys, we don't need to have the exact dates tonight, but if you have any ideas of when you wanted to, do a planning meeting in October, it's just a workshop.
I say we can see how the interviews go, so we're gonna do Swamp with Wednesday, Friday, and then we got the other applicants we gotta get interviewed.
And I'm
So
looking at doing those on Mondays.
On Mondays.
Okay, so, let's see.
Say tentative in the third week of October sometime.
Yeah. And you guys can get me your schedule.
What would be your day off?
Friday's my day off, but whatever, I mean, that's the only hindrance, I guess, is Monday through Thursday would be 7:30.
Yeah, we usually do them in the meeting just simply because of that.
What subjects are you looking at for the, I mean,
That's work.
It's just
workshop.
Whatever.
If we do it in the afternoon, Friday afternoon?
Fire hydrants, just, there's I've got a list and it's in the office, I think that I know.
Some of those workshops, you can only do one item per
As
workshop.
long as you're not voting on anything, you can discuss
So that's
planning. Okay, planning is the overall subject matter, okay?
Yeah, we won't be voting on
Planning
anything,
project,
we're just
but no vote.
talking about projects that we want to.
See how I came in, no go.
Let's move on to, new business. Okay, we moved on to new business. Any discussion on new business? No? Okay. Let's go on to old business. Do we have any old business that you guys need to bring up or? No? Okay. All right. Okay, moving on to public comments for items not on the agenda. Mike?
I have one for Spencer. Well, it's actually your council. I understand your pump's plugged up again. Your sewer pumps. Your sewer pump?
Not that I know of.
Yes, I know I did, second time.
It did plug up?
Both of them do. Number one and number two.
The pumps?
Well, Shirley did not put on her agenda the operator's report, so it's time of public comment. I was gonna stand up and offer an operator's report. But yes, it's trash pump number one and number two, each one clogged up within a week of each other.
Uh-huh. And what was in them?
Reg,
Mm-hmm.
that
Sanitary?
never should have clogged. Yeah,
Sanitary wipes?
Yes.
Mhm. Would you like to know where they're coming from?
sure.
Oh, that's
Meet me
it.
after the meeting and I'll tell you exactly where they're coming from.
Well, I was,
In which cul-de-sac they're coming from.
Okay.
yes, I remember
Because
him
the
talking
cul-de-sac
about.
Because
was
we put out
given
notices.
notices
Yes,
Okay.
to the
Oh, 4 or 5 months.
4 residents or 5 residents that are on there.
yeah, he did, because I remember when that happened before, and he did send out
So
notices.
that's where they're coming from.
Okay, well, if I may, I have, on that topic, I did reach out to the pump manufacturer, and he was just floored that a thin little rag like that would jam up these brand new pumps. And when the second one did it, we had a little powwow, and what it was the soft start. The soft start to the motors was programmed with a 15-second delay, and what that is just like he said, is it ramps up a pump so that it slowly gets started. Well, with a 15-second delay, the pump starts so slowly that all it took was a disposable little rag in the perfect spot in that pump, and it would not let that impeller turn
I
as
think
hard
I
as
got
you
that.
wanted to.
I think I got that email.
Yeah.
So,
And so he went through and we walked through and we changed the programming down to a 1-second ramp up instead of 10.
okay.
And knock on wood, we haven't had any other problems. And again, the pump manufacturer was just, he was like, this is not gonna happen twice, and it happened 3 days later.
Yeah.
So, and Mike says that this did happen often, and I certainly understand with older pumps with duller blades, but the manufacturer was just amazed that this would happen within a month of a pump being turned on. He says, this hasn't happened before.
I went to Vortex pumps to eliminate it.
Yeah. Is that what we have now?
No.
No.
That's what
The
was in
old
there.
ones. The
Oh.
old ones.
Vortex pumps.
Why did they put that back in?
I said I wanted pumps when they were doing it. We needed pumps that would take and chew up anything.
Okay.
Because you knew the issue up there.
Well, and the manufacturer, like I said,
Unfortunately, there's,
yeah,
I can't believe, and I know it's one household, and I can't believe that you can push that many sanitary wipes down the toilet at one time. There was a whole, there was 2 weeks solid that we opened up the manhole at the end on West River Street at the end of that cul-de-sac and pulled out 2 5-gallon buckets full that were
oh my god.
just a snake out of
It's
there
probably
going down
up
in
there
there.
again. just
That
like
we pulled out of there.
Okay.
Should
Alright.
you smoke it or something?
Well, I'll get with Mike and we'll check the manholes to make sure that they're clean.
Okay, thanks.
On other news, just a little tidbit as to what's been going on in the water system. September we used 2.4 million gallons in the water system. That was read actually as of today, So that 2.4 million gallons included the leaks that we had, the water that we used. That is our lowest month so far this year since I started tracking it when I came on board in April. It looks like that our highest volume month was June with 3.8 million gallons that we pumped into the tank. Just kind of FYI. There was some question about our tank up top, and Mike knows all of this stuff, but the tank was put in 1996. It was last cleaned in 2010 by a company called Midco. Excuse me, that is, yes, no, excuse me. Last cleaned in 2013 by a company called Midco. They like to clean the tanks on a 3 to 5 year deal, and we're coming up to that 5-year deal.
Yeah, I got a
So-
call from them already.
You did, okay, great. So, 5 years ago, the cost was about $2,500. So I'm budgeting maybe next season. It's best done in the spring when we don't have a lot of usage and the tank can be lowered a little bit. That would be something to probably
They
budget
don't
for.
care.
They don't care they don't care when? Okay.
They drop their diver in there and they don't care.
Yeah, and
And
we've
just
already
to give
budgeted
you
for
that
that
answer
in our
on that,
budget.
the last time it was cleaned before I had it cleaned, nobody could tell me when it was cleaned. So we wanted to start the record off. We cleaned it, there was about 1/8 to 1/4 inch of sediment in the bottom of the tank, which they said was next to nothing.
Yeah, they're gonna call me back and set up a schedule in the spring.
But I will tell you, and you should have it on the disc was over the video of it, was over there. Your ladder is going to crack in the tank.
In the tank? Okay.
So we're looking at replacing the ladder,
Well, yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
I guess.
maybe you guess, okay.
They can drop themselves in it, they
Yeah,
got a
you
hoist
don't
system,
Yeah.
really
they can lower
Right,
themselves, they don't
yeah.
even use the ladder. He just noted on the video, or noted on the thing, that the ladder was starting to get corroded,
Okay.
so.
And last, just a little update on the sewer plant operations. It is not fully done yet. They tried to bring out a 3rd generator, and before they put it on the truck, they did a final dry startup on it, and it did not work. It crapped out on them. So we are still waiting for the generator. Cat has delivered a temporary generator to back us up, and that's in place. I have asked Chad some questions. He asked me about lowering the oxygen levels in the lagoons, and I said, Chad, how do you do that? There's no adjustments on the blowers to turn the volume down. And he was looking into that, and he still hasn't gotten back to me, but there is no,
I thought we had lowered that from 0.5 to 0.3 or 2, no?
There was supposed to be
yeah, there isn't.
controls in there that you could either shut them off or drop them down.
You can shut them off, of course. That's a simple off switch, but there's no way to turn them down. They're valves with air. They have notches. You don't click. It's open or closed. The first click and you're getting full air through it. The valves that they put in, you cannot.
They were supposed
Ramp,
to
I
be,
know.
they were supposed
You
to be
cannot.
adjustable valves.
Yeah. And then Chad also commented, well, there's a VFD on the blowers. You can just turn them down. No, there's not a VFD on the blowers. There's just what's called a soft start to start them. So Chad is looking into that more, and he was going to get back to us. But like Mike is alluding to, I think that something got.
Cut lead,
They
okay.
cheapened
Yeah,
it up.
yeah, I think something happened there.
They were
So-
supposed to be VFD on the blowers.
And then the stuck trash pumps we already talked about, and that's already been taken care of. So
Okay.
other than that, that's all I have.
We need to change that to a VFD.
Yes.
What was that, Aaron?
I told him we need to change it to a VFD.
Oh.
Get the soft start out.
Yeah.
The VFD
They
will
were
do the
supposed
same.
to be VFDs.
VFDs will do the same as a soft start
Okay.
with
I'll
10,000 more
I'll
options.
get with Chad and see where we're at on that. I know that generator, they've had more problems with that generator than we shake the stick at. Tammy, you had a question?
I have just a brief comment. Somebody showed me their phone the other day with your comment on it, Spencer, from Facebook, which was really nice, but I'm one of those oddies, I don't do social media, I don't have a Facebook page. So you don't want stuff flushed down the drains and stuff. You guys really need to either put it on the bottom of the water bill or send out a brief little memo from time to time.
And we
because
can put messages on the bottoms of our bill.
I know that it
It didn't
will,
help,
but
but
it
did it?
doesn't mean that they're the only ones that are stupid enough to do that, Mike. There might be somebody that
Yeah,
moves
it's a
to
good idea.
town.
Oh, we did it.
And we also have we're at right now, and we have been for months, able now to access the website, so we will start putting information on that and getting that back up to speed.
Okay.
So
But like I
that's-
said,
that's a good
there
thing.
are those people that are odd, you know, they don't do computers or whatever, and so sometimes you have to.
Yeah, I wish I was one of those people.
I guess one more thing I do need to mention, Mr. Vargas contacted me here through social media. Great way to communicate. He is having a pressure problem at his house. And he feels that I've asked him some point questions. He tells me that it's every faucet in his house, not just one or two. And so I think that and I believe it happened when we had the line breaks, and probably just a little sediment or debris has gotten stuck in his meter. And I think that it's just something that I need to get in there and drop his meter really quick, and or trade it out, but probably just drop the meter out and clean it. Yes, Mike, please help me.
Nothing to do with the meter.
Okay.
You should have a pressure reducing valve. Everybody has pressure reducing valves.
Okay.
And it could be that his has gone bad.
Okay.
You should have a whole bunch of them in the shop.
Okay.
They're just a pressure reducing valve, they come behind the meter.
Okay. I haven't seen his meter connection yet, so thank you. Didn't know that. Thank you. So Mark, that's what it takes.
Cool, good.
So
Yeah.
it should be just a pressure reducing valve. They had to put them on there when they moved the tank up to the top of the hill, because when they moved the tank up to the top of the hill, it started blowing everybody's lines off down below. So they put the pressure reducing valve on there, and they're preset at 65 PSI.
Okay.
We had a line blow off right before that.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Before we lost
Thank
our
you.
pressure too, so.
So,
Pretty muddy water since 4 o'clock that is
Any
Are you
other-
Chuck?
Yes.
Okay.
Any
Talk to you
other
afterwards.
business?
Yeah. Talk to you afterwards.
Any other comments? Next meeting date will be November, I can't see the calendar, Jen.
Fifth.
No, CEO, November, yes, the fifth, be the first Monday.
Fourth?
Fifth Monday.
November 5th.
You know where it's at, give me a trade.
Deal. I got my tree
Okay.
There you go. That motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Everybody jump in at once. We have motion to second.
You just need to run some.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Dry for a day or so, and just run some water. It's best to do it through your bathtub faucet that has no screen,
I forgot to bring that
or
up.
an outside faucet on your house that has no screen. And just let it run for a few hours, put a sprinkler on there, you'll have the greenest one
Answer
in
the
town.
questions,
But
yes,
that's the
we
best thing to
needed
do,
that
is just let it run for a few
Now
hours.
we can look at that. Janet,
And it's just because of what they did, the work they
so
did to
that
try to
you
keep
don't
the
lose
lines
it,
as
and
low as
you
possible,
can,
but if there's something
put it
that
with those
and so it's
other
just flushing
sign
it
here, and,
If it doesn't clear up in a couple days, we might wanna drop the meter out, or use the pressure regulator.
we have to
But
give instructions on what we need to
look
do
at the
with
pressure
that.
regulator and the meter and see what,
Let it go.
see we might have one dirty.
I'm boosting him.
Yeah, they're like diaper wipes or
Okay.
something.
Investigators ready.
Right, that's where you're at, yeah, so, sounds great.
The city ordinance thing was supposed to be on the agenda.
Yeah.
The city ordinance committee thing was supposed to be
What
on
are
the
we talking
agenda.
about? I think I touched on the soft starts, the soft start is on the sewer pumps.
Brenda?
I didn't say that, you didn't give me anything except your, building.
Well, anyway, there's 4 of us on the committee on the
And
sign
we've
up
got
sheet,
pumps
so
down here,
what I'm thinking
and
is
it's
we
a
should
free
get started.
flow.
Well, that's up to the committee when they want to
There's
start,
no
come
valves
in
on
and
the
sit
line.
down.
Okay, I better hope, I better talk to Hope then.
So when you turn,
And they can do that,
All right.
whenever they want.
Okay, well, I'll talk
water.
to,
The only thing that you can do is, maybe write down what you guys might want to look at
So
changes.
if the valves
Bring it
are
to
all open on this
council,
main
we'll,
going up to the
if
tank.
we'll go.
Well,
over
first we
that.
probably talk to
That's
her.
what happens,
But,
they close.
what
the
I'm
valve
saying, thinking is,
right here, and they did not
Janet
shut
had
the
said
pumps off.
that
According to the
she
chart,
could, it was
the
a
air is
suggestion kind of off the top. She could get
yeah, it wasn't.
copies
Doesn't matter if
made
there's air when you
of the
start the pumps.
bound, in other words,
When you
a copy
press
with
it
probably
and
some
lock it
kind
in.
of binder
The
on it.
pumps can be off and you
Of the
close
city
it, you press
ordinances,
it, the air.
so that all of us on the committee have something to
Well, I
work
went
with.
and talked to them when they were out here, 'cause my house is there.
Uh-huh.
And, with main
We'll
break
look at
was-
that,
Right.
but there's gonna be a cost
Yeah.
involved in that,
Because
because I'm not sure exactly how we're gonna do
I
it.
gave
There
this,
are 2 books of ordinances
We'll
and
wait for everybody else to
regulations,
get
and there's no reason why the committee
Otherwise,
can't
I'd have been-
come and
Wife
sit
went
down
to
with
fix
those
dinner, she's like,
books
"We got water."
and go through them, but we
So then I
will,
walk up.
I will actually see if we can make at least 2 copies of the ordinances. Right now, we'll get to where we're, right now, we're trying to get everything organized in here and get all of our computer programs up to date and closed out months. We have had 13 months, that's from monthly, we never closed out.
Sheet of paper in there.
So we have to go one by one and get all that done. But
Well,
we will try and get as much
how
done
long
as
does
we
it think
can.
it takes
Tell them
for
that?
4 copies?
Okay.
It'd be
That's
probably
a
4
good
of
idea.
us.
It
At least
would-
there were 4 times up.
It would probably
See
take
that
See that sheet of
at
paper,
least,
white paper in the red box, yep.
You see something in that?
because we'd have to take all the ordinances out of the classroom, binders and all
Yeah.
that, and make sure that they're in order.
Papers up there, you're like.
So it'll probably take at least an hour.
You mean in order to prep them,
So did they
so
fix
copies
the
can be
papers
made?
too?
Right, and, or you can go online and on PDF. and print it.
Well, yeah.
Done, right?
And,
You know,
how many pages are you looking
Really
at?
enjoyed the
Usually 1 copy.
Cause anytime a motor starts, you get that spike.
Well, each ordinance
like
is
water
a
fountain.
different.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and that means just for a rough idea,
On that
how many
spike.
pages,
Okay.
for all these city ordinances.
It has the ability.
Oh, God, I don't know.
You were saying to get
I would have to go look and
I'll
make
check
sure
with
how
them
many
and
we
see.
got in the book
Yeah.
right now, and some of them we
Thank you
haven't
for
even
that.
put in the
Yeah,
book
so we'll
till
check
past
this.
recently.
Once
So
we
we'll
change
have
it, I
to
mean,
look
knock on
at
wood,
that.
it's only been a week, but nothing's.
Well, I'll take a look at it, and